we're ready for season, and it'll be here before you know it.
One of our targets for this year, deer we call the Fat 8. He doesn't have the biggest rack, but he's the oldest deer on the farm.
I'm getting ready to go on an elk hunt here in September.
All along, deer season 24, we're rolling on.
Well, summer's flying by, deer season's getting closer. We're trying to finish up those last little odds and ends projects to get ready. And we're gonna introduce one of our targets for this year, deer we call the Fat 8. He doesn't have the biggest rack, but he's the oldest deer on the farm. Age before beauty, always trying to kill the most mature deer. This is a buck that's 9 or 10, 11 years old. We're not 100% sure. He's been on the farm for a really long time. Just kind of flew under the radar for a while, and then as he's gotten older and mature and been more prevalent in one area of the farm, we've targeted him a little bit. But he made it through the season, found both of his sheds. So going into this year, he's gonna be one of our top targets. So we're gonna go work on a few spots today and get him ready. It's in his core area, so hopefully we can run into him there this fall. Well, just finished clearing up this access lane, and this is a pretty sweet spot. We're able to slip in here and slip right on up into the backside of the tree stand set. Absolutely bulletproof access. We hunt this spot quite a bit. We've never gotten busted going in there. That's why it's really important to get your access lanes cleared this time of year. Come in, clear all the sticks off them, weed eat the brush out of them. Make sure you can get in there really quiet, because you don't want to go in and the first time you go into a stand be when you're going to hunt it. You want to be able to get in there and slip in quiet, undetected. Those deer, they're a lot harder to hunt if they know they're being hunted. All right, so every year what we're gonna do on these tree stand sets, we replace the straps on them every few years, but we go with the big straps, 1,000-pounders. Sometimes we'll put 500s on the climbing sticks coming up the tree, but we like to go a little bit bigger than what's needed just to ensure a little bit more safety. As these trees grow, those ratchet straps, they actually girdle the tree and kill them. And plus, it's just not safe. The tighter they get, the weather gets to them. If they've been out there for a couple of years, they can break. The hooks can break around the stand there. So what we want to do is come in every year, pop those straps, loosen the strap up a little bit, allow that tree room to grow, and make sure the stand doesn't dig into the tree too much. We just want to be as safe as possible. Well, up here in the tree, just finished getting everything trimmed out, checked all the straps, checked the stands, make sure we're good and safe. Safe line's good to go. So the stand's ready to go, got the camera up. This is one of the spots that could be really key for this deer we call the Fat 8. This little pond, we typically get quite a few pictures of him here during the rut in November. But if you remember last year, if you watched deer season 23, Terry and I, we really pounded that spot for Mick Dundee where that little pond was. It was a really dry fall and the deer were hammering that water hole. So if we get another dry fall this year, we've been lucky and had a lot of rain this summer, but if it turns dry on us, this could be a really important spot for this deer we call the Fat 8. It seems like he's potentially bedded close to here. There's a big lake in the timber, and then there's a real nice bowl that's kind of thick between us and that lake. And it seems like in the evening sometimes we'll get pictures of him popping out. He'll be just after dark or right at dark, right at shooting light. But it's a spot where I feel like he beds close to here sometimes. They come out, nibble on this non-typical clover, work their way out. There's a big destination bean field and cornfield out here to the west of us. We got two stands here actually, one for a righty and one for a lefty, and I know that may seem like a little bit excessive, but in this spot, those deer, when they pop out, they're so close to us that Terry being a lefty or me being a righty, depending on who's shooting, or say Matt's up here, we can stay sitting, just grab your bow and shoot without having to stand up. Minimizes movement. It works out really, really well. We've had a lot of luck on this field shooting does in the past, and hopefully this year we can kill the Fat 8 here and write the final chapter in his story, because it's been a long time coming. He's been very, very elusive, but I feel like this is a spot we have a really high likelihood of killing him late October, early November. So if he shows up and he's here, this could be a spot where we potentially kill him. So hopefully we'll be back here in November putting an arrow through him.
This episode of DoD TV is brought to you by HHA Sports, the leader in movable archery sights for the past 20 years. Range, dial, shoot. Hell yeah. Look at the G1s. Jesus, you got
Shooting really good.
All right, we're here in late July. We're back to my farm in Rawls County, and Forrest came back down to help us out again today. I don't know, maybe a month or two ago, you came and sprayed the clover plot for me, and then I brush hogged everything, and the clover looks great. we're getting to the point of the year where I need to get prepared for the planting I'm going to do for the fall and my other food plot. So he came down to spray the other food plot, get it ready, kill it. And then we're also gonna just, while we're here, I'm gonna brush hog, we're gonna put out cameras, we're gonna put out some mineral from Evolved and just kind of get ready and see what kind of pictures we can get on the cell cams. So I think that's the plan.
It's that time of year.
It's that time of year.
Getting the crunch time. So.
What are you doing up at Terry's farm right now?
I've been putting a lot of trail cameras out the last few days. Had a few clover plots that started getting a little bit weedy, so hitting those and getting ready for fall plots.
Good deal. So we got a long day because we're not only going to be at this farm, but I have 2 leases that are real close to here that we're going to hop to as well. So we got a long day ahead of us, but we're going to get to it and start getting ready. So follow along, deer season 24, we're rolling on.
Yeah, this is glyphosate. So it'll kill most of your broadleaves and definitely kill all the grasses. And it has no residual in it, so planting, when you go to plant a fall plot, there'll be no chemical left in the ground. It's a contact killer, foliar killer, so it has to hit the plant to kill it. All right, we're getting ready to spray this field here for Matt, and we're just spraying it down with some glyphosate just to burn it down before he plants his fall plots. One thing I like to do, I like to use DeerCast, and every time I spray any field, whether it's corn, beans, clover, doing a burn down on this, just to make sure you get the field covered good, I always use DeerCast Path Track. So I'm able to start tracking. It'll show me exactly where I've been to make sure I get a good even spray on the whole field, make sure it's all killed. In this case, you don't want to have a spot that's alive, and then when you try to plant your fall plot, you run into an issue with that spot. So gonna get it killed off here, and then we're gonna move on to the next thing.
All right, so we're on a new lease here that actually adjoins my property, and when we went and toured it here in the off season and kind of looked around and to see what the situation was, we noticed that there was a mineral lick here, and I figured it's a gate gap with a mineral lick, so whoever hunted here before knew what they were doing. So we're setting a cell cam, a trail cam on it right now. We're gonna freshen up the mineral lick with some Evolved mineral, and we should have every deer on this part of the farm should walk through here at one point or another and hit that mineral. So it looked like when we came up here that there were some tracks and stuff in it, and you could see the hole there. Like, we didn't dig that up, that was all there already. So that's the perfect site, and I'm gonna real quick go into DeerCast and add a waypoint here. Okay, save, and there we go. So Forrest jumped on the tractor while I was setting the camera up, and he's heading over there. He's gonna mow real high. He's gonna mow that clover because we haven't touched it yet. So there, it looked like there was oats sewn in with it. So he's gonna mow it high, make sure that he doesn't get with the heat. You know, we're here at the end of July. We could hit 4 weeks of 100-degree temperature and, you know, not get any more rain. We've been really lucky up to this point, but you never know. So he's gonna mow it high just in case. But between these two spots, it's really the only cameras I'm putting out over here, and I think we'll have every deer on the farm between these two spots. So it's just a nice addition to my 93 acres. This is 109, and I felt like most of the deer that we had opportunities at last year were coming off of this piece. So it's nice to just extend the block a little bit and square it off. So that's what we're doing. I'm gonna freshen up this mineral site and on to the next thing. One of the things that over time I've really learned from Mark and Terry and what they do on their farms is, you know, the brush hogging of lanes to get to your food plots. And deer, you know, they take the path of least resistance just like we do. And last year I did this, and we had the deer I shot came out from that corner. We saw a ton of deer through the fall coming in and out of that timber. And then I got one coming from the other side as well. And then the other area I didn't have one last year was down in that bottom from that side of the timber. A lot of deer are bedding back there, which I just didn't know at the time. So I cut a trail coming up to the clover from down there. So we're ready for season, and it'll be here before you know it. Okay.
Well, as you can see, Matt and Forrest are well on their way to season, getting those cameras rolling, getting food plots ready to be put in, and with season right around the corner, myself and Perry, we're doing the same. We're putting out a ton of cameras, prepping those green fields, getting clover fields all dialed in, and like I say, I'm getting ready to go on an elk hunt here in September, so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my deer hunting arrows and my elk hunting arrows. I like to have a little bit more weight behind my arrows for this elk hunt coming up. So what I was shooting was the VAP TKOs 350s. I love these arrows. They're about 8.7 grains per inch. Whenever you go to build your Victory arrows, you could choose your different size of outsert. I got 50 grain outserts in these. I always shoot the 4-fletch. Not only it stabilizes the arrow a little bit better, it also adds a little bit of back end weight. I also shoot a 100 grain broadhead. So this build is just over 400 grains with my broadhead on the end. And it's been really good for me in the past. However, I did go from 70-pound mods to 80-pound mods, so I just want to beef it up a little bit more. And for my elk arrow build, I'm going with the VAP Elite 250s. They're about 9.8 grains per inch, and going with a little bit bigger outsert, 75 grain outsert. Like I said, Victory allows you to choose whenever you go to buy arrows what size of outsert you want. So I'm gonna have a 75 grain outsert. I'm gonna also put the 4-fletch on here. I'm actually gonna fletch these up and get these ready to go next week. And hopefully this arrow, that my goal is to have it just over 500 grains. So getting up there to 500 grains, having the micro diameter, shouldn't have any issues with penetration. So, you know, I'm excited to try it out. I know Matt has an elk hunt coming up as well here in September. So if you guys have anything you want to see or hear about in the upcoming weeks, drop it in the comments, let us know, and we'll keep you up to date between now and deer season.
We're adding new videos every week, so make sure to click that subscribe button and check out all of our amazing content. This episode of DoD TV was brought to you by HHA Sports, the leader in movable archery sights for the past 20 years.